Hello everyone, we have the Executive Director of Thai Silicon Valley, Mr. J. Vishwanathan, right here with us at Santa Clara Convention Center at a beautiful event organized by Thai called Thai Inflect 2018. It's a two-day conference and so many investors, entrepreneurs and attendees are here. So let's learn a little more from Jay himself. Welcome to Yo India TV with me, Jasleen Khanuja, and give us a little background about the organization and its incorporation.
Jasleen, thank you for inviting me to speak to you. Thai Silicon Valley has been around for 26 years, and we are all about fostering entrepreneurship. So essentially, we help entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs make their way toward establishing and growing their companies. So the focus has always been on startups, and we've been helping people through a number of different ways. What I call the 3 M's: money, mentoring, and markets. So we help find people or connect them to sources of money like VCs, private equity firms. We also do a lot of mentoring. So if there's a startup, they need to know either it's a business plan, or they want to know how to approach a certain market, or they're looking for some technical expertise. We connect them to our very big network of charter members to help in that regard. And then the third one I said is markets. So we actually, through our very vast network of connections, connect them to potential sources of customers and markets. We have 61 chapters in 18 different countries, and through this vast network, we can enable companies here in Silicon Valley to have a global reach. And conversely, we can invite companies from around the world to come here and set up shop in Silicon Valley.
So when it comes to benefits, I see a huge value. Then talk a little bit about the cost as well.
So the cost actually is almost nothing. Yeah, because we are a non-profit, and we survive through sponsorships and subscriptions.
So in a blockchain, everything has to work in collusion, right? Otherwise, it can't work at all. So how do you make sure that the sync is always there and the availability of the participants in that in that chain is ensured?
Yeah, so it's a consensus mechanism that needs to happen so that everybody can verify that what happens on the blocks is true. So that's what is important. But there's really no necessary need to import people. There are plenty of people that are mining and that verify the blocks in an open blockchain, what is also called a public blockchain. But in private permission blockchains, there is a consensus mechanism as well.
So is it just applicable to cryptocurrencies or elsewhere as well?
Cryptocurrencies are one of the early adopters of it, but cryptocurrencies is just the beginning. There are truly incredible opportunities in supply chain management, in finance, in all different types of transportation, intermodal transportation, in governments, in social impacts, taking wine shipments and moving those into China is one example, but the implications are profound.
Getting to your background a little bit, you have a strong resume, I would say. Your curriculum vitae speaks for itself because you worked with some of the best leaders of the world. You interpreted for them and you made your mark, and I would say you are a pride of India. So give us a little bit about your experience with Indian Parliament and outside.
Yes, thank you. That's very kind of you. I mean, it's all God's grace. I haven't done anything on my own. I started my career in Indian Parliament as a parliamentary interpreter, which is similar to the diplomatic interpreter. So I was interpreting for the proceedings of the House live. So when a member of Parliament or a minister, like we call the head of state, head of the department here, or even the speaker or the diplomats there are speaking, you are interpreting their speech live, real time, so that there's no time lost. Because in the Parliament, they don't have the time to go, in a consecutive mode. So whatever is happening, you're interpreting live. And if somebody speaks poetry, somebody speaks metaphors or idioms or whatever expression, you have to do it in real time. And there's no summarizing there. You do everything. Of course, you have to explain everything, justify it in the other language, but that doesn't mean that you have the liberty to summarize it and, give a gist of it. You say everything, but after analyzing it.
Wonderful. So, any leaders with who you have worked?
Yes, in India, I have worked with, I would say, 7 prime ministers till now.
Wow,
Yes.
7 prime ministers, and who are they?
When I was in India, I worked with Narsimha Rao, with VP Singh and Chandrasekhar, and of course, very very big legends like Advani ji and several other Somnath Chatterjee and many other politicians and prime ministers and leaders at that time. After coming here to US, I've had the opportunity to work for the present Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. I interpreted for him in the United Nations. I did his maiden speech out of the Parliament, out of the United Nations. I did his address to Madison Square Garden, where, if you remember, about 20,000 people were there to listen to him. And also, I interpreted for him in the Council on Foreign Relations, also at US India Business Council. And I worked for several other companies like Pepsi and Amway and others that need interpretation from time to time. I also have worked with world leaders from the United States, the presidents, and the Prime Minister of Canada, with Stephen Harper, who's ex-Prime Minister, and the current Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau. In fact, I was very fortunate to accompany Justin Trudeau when he went to India in February. So I was with their delegation and I went with them all over India, wherever they went, and interpreted there, as well as with the meetings with the Prime Ministers of India and several other cabinet ministers.
Hello everyone, we have Madhu Matiali from Passage AI, who has just received the TIE 50 award at the TIE Inflect 2018 conference in Silicon Valley. Big congratulations.
Thank you.
This is Jasleen Khanuja from Yo India TV welcoming Madhu to Yo India TV.
Yeah, thank you.
How's your experience this time in TIE?
Oh, it's fantastic. Just the focus on AI, it's been amazing. And we have believed in AI for the last year and a half. And just to see this level of engagement with AI in Thai, it's very encouraging for all of us who are working on AI. Yeah.
So, according to you, what got you this award?
So our focus on the customer, right? So the three things that we believe in strongly are understand your customer and know what their KPIs are. Feel for the customer and empathize with them, right? Understand what their customers are looking for. So that's the second thing. And the third thing was just to focus on the product and the team itself, right? So get your team to understand the customer requirements. So the minute you start focusing on the customer, you'll see a winning formula pretty much.
Who are you potentially reaching out to in terms of networking at Tiecon?
So this year we are only focusing on the desktop tool of this TNT, because we have a local Indian community who is having outsourcing companies, and now everyone knows how the Indian outsourcing is losing faith among international market, because how the shift has been done in India, the resources got expensive but the outcome is less. And this I observed when I came here as an immigrant in 2013. I completely lose the visibility of my team, what they are working, what they are, the whole day they passes out. And the budget on the projects is limited, clients are paying in a limited way, they do not increase your finances, but the increments and appraisals are going up. So giving more visibility and control on the budget, we come up with the solution of our own problem, and we utilizing it since last 2 years. And now we have seen so many of my friends over here in Silicon Valley and other way, they start sharing that they have the same problem for the businesses. So we have given 100 people company over here in Milpitas, and they are based out of Bangalore. And drastically he see that only 2 people are working out of 100 people, and then he improves, like, okay, 2 of them are fired off, and now he is getting a very good productivity out of it. And the same story has repeated with Raman Consulting, and there is architect firm MA Architect. So we are getting a good traction, and in this Tiecon, because all the Indian communities are over here, most of them are having their development centers offshore back there. So that is a good hit for us. We have a lot of leads right now, since morning, almost 20-25 on table, and that's a good start for us.
Wow, that's a really nice response. I would say the turnaround is really good today. When you deal with the EB5, what are the main criteria? When you select a company or an investor and you support them, then number one, what are the qualities they should have? I mean, on your checklist, they should have like the right product, the right size, the right behavior. What are you looking at? That's one. And two, what they need to pay to be with you.
Sure. So there's two different sides. There's the project side where we choose which type of project we're going to invest with, and then there's the actual investor. On the project side, we look for really high quality borrowers. We've worked with top companies, Sony, Time Warner, etc. And then, so we look to construct a really stable deal. Nothing is without risk, but make it as riskless as possible for our investors. Then we go out and we seek the investors that want to come to the U.S. The investment through the Regional Center program in EB5 is $500,000. So the investor has to be able to prove a source of funds of white money that can be traced into the U.S. to invest $500,000. Then that money is then used to create jobs. The job creation happens through the project that we decide to fund.
Inflect 2018, we have a beautiful woman who has changed lives of several people back home in India. She belongs to Madhya Pradesh, particularly the town around Jabalpur, and she has created a difference in lives of many people out there. Let's learn the social transformation that she has created back in India. Welcome, Maya Vishwakarma, to Your India TV with me, Jasleen Khanuja. There are very few people who go back and do some good work back in India. You are one person who has been to that village where you grew up, and you have brought about a cleanliness difference, I would say, a remarkable sanitation point that you have created in your village back in India. So let's talk about the brand that you have created, No Tension Sanitary Napkin for Women. What motivated you to go back and create it?
So as you said, like I born and brought up and grew up and did my schooling in my village. And being a teenage, I also had a similar problem when I was in school. And I think many girls, they go through this kind of problems. And so when I moved to US, I realized like how hygiene and how sanitation is important for your health. And the similar thing whenever I go back to India, like, every year I visit my village, my family, and those similar people. So I realized this problem is getting really worse, especially the infection, RTI, UTI, hysterectomy, and other problems. So then I thought the basic problem, the root cause problem, is because they are not getting hygienic products, whether it is clean clothes, whether it is any tampons or sanitary pad. Then I thought like I need to set up this venture to help these girls and women in the villages, and especially in tribal area, because Madhya Pradesh is like half of the tribes. So if their girls, they are quitting school because of the sanitary pad and their problems. So you don't want to leave. You don't want to drop off the girls' schools and all that. So
What were those companies, what were those products with which you were able to sell your companies to Amazon and subsequently to Walmart Labs?
So my first company was a company called Jungly. This was a company back in the 90s. In 1998, Amazon bought our company. We basically created online comparison shopping so that you could see the same product in multiple places, see what the prices were, and then buy wherever you wanted to buy. Amazon bought the company in 1998. My second company was a company called Cosmix, and Walmart bought that company. We were doing semantic analysis of social media like Facebook and Twitter, and trying to figure out what are people really saying, what do they really want to buy, what are their real opinions on a product, things like that.
Artificial intelligence, when it comes to emotions, and two, when it comes to overpowering the human strength or the human mind or the human smartness, then how do you want to deal with that, and what do you have to say about it?
Yeah, there's been a lot of concern about artificial intelligence, that it's going to take away our jobs and it's going to make society worse. And a lot of this, I think, some of it is justified, but a lot of it is caused because a lot of the early people in the AI community have oversold it. In reality, I think the way to think about this is not as AI replacing what humans do, but the real open challenge, I think the open problem for the 21st century is how can we combine humans and AI to become superhuman, to do things better than human or AI.
So when we drill down on the fintech part into your banking system or in general, then what could be the main highlights for the viewers to learn? Like, what's the main application part?
No, I think everyone's trying to do is go away from a portal strategy to becoming an enabler, right? So you'll hear a lot of people say blockchain is going to kill the banks, right? Banks are already working on it, so we're not long just a dumb money pipe anymore, that we're enabling other services and interactions. So blockchain will be something that will be brought to you from the bank, where the trust and the brand will still be there.
Want to learn about entrepreneurship in Mexico? Well, there is a Thai chapter there as well. Ricardo Burciaga is from Thai Laguna and he's a charter member of the Thai out there, and he also has his own company, RH3, which does the software development. So let's get some insights. Welcome to Yo India TV with me, Jasleen Khanuja, and you were the speaker at Thai Santa Clara. This is a 2-day conference called Thai Inflect 2018, and you presented on the entrepreneurship. So what were the key points?
Thank you. Well, I'm from Mexico. I'm a passionate Thai member, and I was talking about how to innovate and entrepreneurship in Mexico, and I present 3 reasons why to innovate in entrepreneur in Mexico. The first reason is Mexico is a great company. Mexico is the second trade partner from United States in exports, and the third in imports. In effort to increase trade with other countries, Mexico has 11 free trade agreements with 46 countries, which is more than any other country in the world. So Mexico has a growing economy. Estimates show by the 2050, Mexico will be the world 5th largest economy. So it's the first reason why. Business in Mexico are cheaper and easier than ever. The second reason why is government programs. We have the National Entrepreneurs Institute. It's a public institution specialized in providing attention and solution to the needs of the entrepreneur and small business. And in Mexico, we have a lot of programs to impulse the innovation. And the third reason why, and it's amazing, because we have a Thai Global in Mexico. Lagoon chapter is the first one in Latin America and Spanish speaker. And we have been working on promoting Thai Global in 22 states in Mexico. This reduces effort for the Thai members. If you want to go to Mexico, you have a good path. That was our 3 reasons why.
That's the vision.
Yeah, so we recently launched a product called AWS Deep Lens, and it has capability to run machine learning models right on the device, which means you don't have to send your stream up into the cloud to do machine learning applications. You can do it right on the device with a GPU capability of 100 gigaflops of performance.
That's nice. What are the analytical tools that you use to make this inference?
So these are called machine learning models. These are trained over a set of data. There are 2 types of training that could be done. One is supervised learning, wherein you take a data set and you label it and say, this is a tree and this is an animal. And so the machine starts learning that every time it has this shape or a feature, this is called a tree because my human labeled it as a tree. Because the machine doesn't know the difference between an apple or a ball, it's only you who have to show the difference. There's another set of learning called unsupervised learning, wherein you don't label the data and you let the algorithm figure it out based on the different features and patterns. So Deep Lens is mostly looking at supervised learning.
So when it comes to scrambled data in particular or big data, what are the main challenges?
I think the fact that because you have so much of data, you need to have a system that can now infer from that data. Previously, data storing was a challenge. Now we have moved across. Now we store petabytes of data. Now the next challenge is how do you infer such a huge amount of data? And which is why now machine learning models are of gaining of much importance, because you can now use GPUs and advanced systems to process petabytes of data.
That's nice. You also created a Thai chapter in Mexico with some of your partners. Let's learn a little more about it.
Sure. I think when I actually went to Mexico, and I was actually very amazed that nobody even thought about Mexico. We've seen chapters in Argentina, Singapore, and I said, you know what, why there's no chapter in Mexico? And that's the first time I actually reached out to the Economy Secretary of the state of Coahuila. So this is where we are. State of Coahuila is where we started. So I actually went to approach the Economy Secretary, and he said, hey, you got to be part of this. So 4 years ago, I invited him to come to Thai, and he was floored by this activity. And that's the time he said, Suri, I think we want to create. So we actually brought some of the officials down 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, the first time we opened the first Thai chapter. It's called a tri-state, but the name is called Torion. So it's a Thai chapter Torion. That's the very first chapter. In fact, there are a couple of gentlemen from that chapter, they're already there. They had a big event last year. So that's how we got a lot of visibility with the global Thai event. So this is something I feel very proud of, because that's my way to give back and also can expose Mexico to the Thai. So that's a great feeling for me as well.
That's wonderful. So give us some insights into the technologies that you excel in and other skills that clients can leverage.
Sure. The primary skills are all agile. So if you look at agile development, the main language which is being used is Java. So it starts with Java front and back end. DevOps is another area a lot of people are talking about. So DevOps is a new area which is picking up like rapid fire. The third thing is QE, with quality engineering. So things are going to change. It used to be quality assurance, now it become quality engineering. So QE is another thing. So anything which is in the CI/CD stands for continuous integration and continuous development. Anything that falls in that domain. So these are Java, microservices architecture, Kubernetes from Google, quality engineering, all the stack we cover out of Mexico.
That's wonderful. Some of the tools are very popular when it comes to ETL, which is like Informatica Power Center, and currently we have ETL, Big Data Management, the BDM that can connect to Hadoop as well, Hadoop platform. And besides that, nowadays the predictive analytics is a lot prevalent these days. So which technologies are you leveraging, and how is it different from other analytic companies?
So that's where we try to distinguish ourselves, that as a company that, we started with our founder himself is a researcher in this area. He was a professor at MIT, University of Maryland, before starting the company. And we kind of tend to think of ourselves as someone who does the advanced level work, that the other companies who are just doing the BI, ETL work, they can't hire the kind of talent we have, and we are able to deliver that work because we are doing the high-end machine learning, data science, predictive analytics work that a lot of other competitors are not able to deliver because they are not able to attract the kind of talent that we have.
Nice. What's your opinion on gun control? Do you think that analytics can help there?
It's a very political topic though, but analytics can help in a way that I think the government or whoever is the regulating body can figure out where to look for deeper in terms of background and figure out who needs to have more background checking done and who is a safe buyer.
Just a little piece, getting me satisfied. I'm the easy, give good love. But you can't, but you know that I can't get enough. Cut the cake, I just the best I can. Cut the cake, cause you know that I can't beat it, man. Come on, now.
Alright, somebody come up here and give these guys a hand. They're killing it up here. Killing it up here. We need some help. Come on up here. Come on. Woo! Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jay Viswanathan, Executive Director for Thai Silicon Valley. Watch me on Yo India TV.
Hi, I'm Maya Vishwakarma. I'm founder Sukarma Foundation. Watch me on Yo India TV. I'm working in India, in Madhya Pradesh, working on this sanitary napkin, menstrual hygiene. So watch my story on Yo India TV.
Hello everyone, I'm Anand Rajaraman, partner at rocketship.vc. You can see me on Yo India TV.
Hi, I'm Nagajyoti Nukula from Amazon Web Services and I'm the Senior Product Manager for AWS Deep Lens. Watch me on Yo India TV.